behalf of the Neighbur team for attending today. It is it's exciting from our behalf to let you know that you're, because of the relationships that SNAP representatives in your local communities have had, one of the first to kind of share the plans with moving forward. As the email invitation indicated, SNAP is becoming Neighbur. And you can see our new logo on the cover slide there. And we're excited to take you through within the next 35 to 40 minutes or so, just in terms of all the things that we've been working on for, I guess, the better part of a year now, as far as the transition is concerned. Dan McPherson, who was greeting everybody, is going to walk through the presentation with me. He'll pop in and out, and we'll get going. So as many of you know, SNAP as a brand has been around for 17 years. It's served us well. We've, we wanted to, the original objective was to get into communities, to share all the positive things that are happening in communities. We fundamentally were driven by the paper that was in racks and distributed around your communities on a monthly basis. Lots of pictures, some write-ups as far as the events were concerned. We would have a calendar in there that indicated to the people in the communities as far as what was upcoming, as far as events were concerned. So we had a presence in about 150 markets, 50% of them which had publications. The other balance were digital properties that we had. And we are now in a position to kind of move that forward. If you take a look at what the paper represented, it was really more of what we were, kind of term as a passive engagement. And what I mean by that is that people would pick up the paper, they would go through it. A lot of people would cut out pictures, put it up on their fridges. But we're moving into an area right now where the whole idea, as far as technology moving forward and the rapid pace of that, particularly given where we are with the pandemic, is in a position where we're kind of going through a more passive engagement to a much more interactive engagement within the communities of which we now refer to as neighborhoods. So with Neighbur, we built an innovative digital platform that's going to help residents and our partners, which are you, connect with the neighborhood at a much deeper level than we ever have been in a position before. If you take a look, I'm not sure how many are familiar with the McKinsey report. It's a worldwide kind of renowned report as it relates to providing deeper insights on the evolution of the global economy. But one of the recent reports was really to do with behavioral changes resulting from the pandemic. And I'm going to focus your attention to point number 3, where, they indicated and they talk about the local experiences matter. This has really been kind of our sweet spot, in concert with all our partners and readers and residents within communities, but they're talking about how much more important. I think everybody has probably heard this, that, the whole proposition of local takes on a significantly more positive meaning right now because of the pandemic than it ever has in the past. And what they talk about is this kind of hyper-local engagement that's going to require marketers to rewire their operating model to achieve what they refer to as personalization. So this is totally aligned with where we're going. And really the key for us is personalization through engagement. How do we, in a more effective manner within any given neighborhood, be in a position within our platform to engage with the stakeholders being defined as the residents, partners, government, organizations, charities, nonprofits, everybody that makes a neighborhood tick. And how do we bring everybody together that creates a common bond? So we know that the communities and businesses have been facing dramatic challenges. Everybody has been in the same boat. And there's now a time where the reset and the renewed focus on how fundamentally everybody is going to function on a go forward basis. I mean, definitely a reset. A lot of businesses have kind of changed strategies as far as how they're going to evolve forward. Our vision is to help advance the positive engagement that I mentioned earlier, and fundamentally the economic growth in the community. So really, at the end of the day, we're there to help you sell more, donate more, register more, and fundamentally engage more with the neighborhood. The platform, as we mentioned, is still based on the essence of what we've always been about, which are local events, but also how do we strengthen our relationship with businesses, organizations, government in a way that is going to enrich the lives of those who are in the neighborhood. It offers a solution to rebuild the neighborhood economy. And that's fundamentally where we are coming out of this pandemic and what the platform has been designed to do. So there's some in our organization who kind of, the analogy is TripAdvisor. So Neighbur is local living to what TripAdvisor is for travel. So total connectivity and engagement. So one of the first areas is the digital property, is our new app, our new Neighbur app. Many of you know that we did have a beta app, which was referred to as the Snapped Hub. This is really, we've kind of learned some key learning over the last year and a half since we had that app in place. And if you were to think of Neighbur, it's kind of like the Snapped Hub on steroids. So we've made significant improvements as far as just the relationship of the user and kind of the seamlessness of the app, while increasing the opportunities to connect with the community. So we like to refer to as, kind of increasingly connected digitally, but we still know that people live their lives locally, right? It all comes back to communities and neighborhoods. And the position on Neighbur is that we're there for them. We're going to be their guide. So regardless of who the stakeholder is, the residents, you guys, organizations, governments that we had talked about earlier, Neighbur's going to help guide them through on a daily basis, and we'll get into that in a moment. So 4 kind of primary features that we are going to be launching with, and of course we've got a tech vision that is going to expand on this, but certainly at launch time, this is what people will be seeing. So we have all the local events that are going to be upcoming throughout any given neighborhood, and we are going to be encouraging people to be submitting those events, very similar to what they did with Snap. I mean, our hope is over the next kind of month and a half to a couple of months, everybody's going to start coming back together with the pandemic hopefully going to be leaving us sooner than later. But within the local events, we also have the ticketing platform that many of you may have used in the past. The whole ticketing platform, from a tech point of view, has become much smarter, much easier to manage, and to set up as well. So we've got this whole kind of local events. And if you see down at the bottom, on average, before the pandemic, we were in any given market getting close to where we were averaging about 300 event submissions per community. We're hoping that we're going to be in a position where we can significantly increase that number. So with the old Snap model, people would submit, we would send out photographers, we would cover events, but there's really only so much you can do as far as manpower is concerned. One of the primal differences here is that we are going to be significantly encouraging people to submit content. So if you're at a local event, we've got the capability, obviously, as far as the photos are concerned. Again, it's a platform that's been significantly improved from where we were before. There's no change as far as behavior is concerned. People do it all the time, whether it be for social media, taking images, or shooting videos. What we're going to be doing is letting them know that we want them to be uploading content, sharing with the community all the various different engagement that they're going to be participating in. We've got a section called moments, and really what moments is are spontaneous happenings. So anything that is not linked to an event. So I could be walking my dog, I could be down in the park, I could be down in the harbor, I could be out having lunch, and a shout out to the restaurant owner or the waitress or waiter, whatever it ends up happening to be. So any of those moments that people are partaking within the neighborhood, we want them to share.
And I think, Glenn, if I pop in there, that was something that we always had difficulty with, is that the representative snapped in your communities really became this go-to person to run around and collect all that information. So we didn't really have the tool that allowed you to do that. Or for some, there's a lot of business people on the line that would have a check presentation, for example, something that simple and poignant that can provide profile for both a charity or not-for-profit, as well as that business owner, for example. It maybe almost became onerous to send to us. You know, you have to send it in an email or post it on social media and tag us. So we've added that widget that might seem that to us is a huge undertaking. So it's similar in some respects to a user experience on how to get that content pushed out to a lot of people. But the difference with other social media is that everything within Neighbur is 100%. The context behind it is 100% about pushing the positivity of where we live in that specific area, and how to contribute with all the other people on bettering the community. Sorry, Glenn, thanks.
So the same holds true as far as the local, as far as all the events are concerned, right? So people down engaged at events, taking lots of pictures as far as the events are concerned, uploading them into the platform. And I'll get to the publication in a moment, but we want to get them to the back end so they can see all of the images that were taken. Right now with Snapped, you know, we'll feature 4 or 5 different pictures there. If you want to see the rest, you have to go to our website, figure out where the event was. It was somewhat cumbersome. So this is going to be a totally different experience. And I think fundamentally at the end of the day, there's always something for somebody to go back to view, because it's going to be rolling. It's going to be changing all the time in terms of submission from the community. Then we've got what we call partner experiences. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because we will be with your local SNAP representative setting up kind of sub-webinars, if you will, to take you through this, but really powerful platforms that are dedicated to you or your organization or restaurants or whatever the organization happens to be. To fundamentally, strategically, it can support an event. It can be non-event specific. One of the examples we have right here is we just finished a program with Frank Stronach in Magna International. They just opened up a new cafe. So this is an ongoing app program that we're going to have with them. So they're in a position where they can promote different specials and contests and things that are happening within not only the cafe, but also it's a small specialty kind of a grocery store. So a really interactive opportunity for Franks to be able to promote various different things that are happening. We've done a host of these through the Snapped Hub, which have been very successful across the platform. So with nonprofits and charities and raising money and donations, registrations, and things like that. So
I think it's worth, Glenn, that a lot of the clients that have been worked with here are people who have very inspired dreams on what they want to do to connect with a digital audience, but you know, quite frankly, it's become cost prohibitive to put out their own app. So it's a way that they can parachute in to an app that's going to be in existence already, where a group like Neighbur or Snap is already out for multiple reasons, promoting the app experience and generating user adoption, and they can come in with a single fixed idea for a specific campaign and not have to build this massive infrastructure when they just have, say, one campaign in mind. They can, for lack of a better way of describing it, piggyback on an existing app that we're moving mountains to get people to adopt for various reasons that Glenn just explained, via moments and buying tickets and signing up for events and such. Sorry.
And then we've got augmented reality, and I think many of you are probably familiar with that. Again, from a tech point of view, it is being enhanced. But one of the things is that we can, augment it, and I'll take you through in a moment as far as the publication is concerned. All these various different experiences that we can take from a static printed piece and augment it with a more immersive story. And also not only content, but where you guys would want to deliver them, right? So what I mean by that, as far as a button link is concerned, so it kind of closes the loop in terms of something that is static, which is passive, to something that is much more interactive. And again, lots of opportunities around AR on a go forward basis. And we will be sitting down with the local representative, the SNAP representatives, take you through. We've got very specific type programs that we can share with you as far as augmented reality is concerned. So that is really kind of the platform. Our number one objective is to maximize app downloads in each neighborhood, because fundamentally that's where the significant audience is going to be. So there are two components to that. One is reach, right? So we download it once, and then the other is frequency. In other words, a user using the app 4 or 5 times a week, going back, checking out moments, what are kind of the new pictures that are coming up, some additional partner experiences, looking at various different events, and what are the types of events that I'd be interested in terms of attending. So that is really a big component of where the extended audience for all of our partners is going to be. I mean, if we're in any particular neighborhood and our objective is 50, 60,000 app downloads, and I have each one of those users frequenting the app 3-4 times a week, you can start seeing how the audience numbers build. So that's going to be a big focus for us. The publication, well, on the left-hand side, you can see our current SNAP publication. For the most part, it has remained unchanged for the last 17 years. So we felt that with this evolution, as far as the brand is concerned, it was the appropriate time to move, not only in terms of the immersive experiences that we talked about, but also as far as design is concerned. And in the middle, you can see kind of the new cover. It is going to be a magazine. And I'm getting, have you got feedback? I'm getting wicked feedback. It's going to be a magazine wrap, and on the inside, it is going to be newspaper, but it's going to be a higher end newspaper. It will be saddle stitched. It will not be folded, so it's a little bit shorter in the height. So if you're familiar with Rolling Stone magazine, kind of think Rolling Stone magazine as far as the size is concerned. The whole idea is to have people consume this publication with their phone in their hand, and as they go through, there's going to be all these different experiences that are going to present itself. So this was an example of Tim Hortons, who were a client of ours last year, I guess the year before, pre-COVID, where they were promoting their foundation camps, the summer camps. And so that ignited a video, which was kind of an overview as far as the camps are concerned. Then we had a series of buttons down below where people could register for the camps, or they could make a donation for the camp. So again, a much more immersive experience in terms of the overall experience as one goes through the publication. On the inside, this is an example of kind of where we're going to be going with the event pages. So again, if you think about the current publication, we have lots of different kind of pictures that are in there. We got a write-up that was there that people would consume, and then they would move forward and pick up the issue the following month. Where we're going with this now is we're going to have one primary image per event with view, which is wherever you see this little icon, which is fundamentally going to be everywhere within the publication. All they're going to be doing, the reader, is hovering over top with AR, and then that will connect them directly to the app with all the other pictures that were submitted from that particular event. So again, not only immersive, but also the connectivity in terms of seeing all the pictures, whereas currently, if I want to see all the pictures, I got to go to the website, I got to find the event, I got to take a look at all the pictures that were associated with. So much more seamless as that is related to. So every event, as I'm consuming the publication, is going to be like that. I just go from one event to the other, or the ones that are of interest to me, or perhaps I was, it was an interested event, I couldn't go for whatever reason, I want to see all the pictures. I hover over top, and then I'm into the gallery with captions, because people will have the opportunity to add photos with captions as well. So enhanced connectivity, connect to all the pictures in the app. We're going to have each event we're going to create hashtags, so it becomes an opportunity for people to be able to share with people. If there was an opportunity where, for example, somebody wanted to do a thank you message, so they want to do a video message where I want to thank everybody, we had a wonderful time, thanks to all the volunteers, we raised $35,000. That would be activated off of the AR, and then from there you can add buttons. Do you want to take them to your website, donations, volunteering, registration, or back to, again, all the pics within the app. So that becomes an example of an event page. Then we're going to have what we refer to as these kind of theme pages. And we're going to take you through 3 examples today. So this one would be for any of the charities or nonprofits that we've got on the call today. These are free. There is no cost to them. There is going to be, if you see the way it's set up here, so for the volunteers page, there's going to be a total of 7 different stories that are going to be activated here. So it'd be a video message, and again, from the video message, they can talk about the organization, give a shout out to some volunteers or a volunteer in particular. They can talk about the need of volunteering. We need if you're interested, for people to be able to register. Again, the connectivity off of the video is then to a website or donations, volunteering. There may be a major gala event that's going to be coming up where they want to direct people to. That could be included as far as ticketing is concerned. Some of these associations or organizations may already be doing podcasts. You can send them to a podcast, which is also something that we can certainly help you out with. But most importantly, we've got all the tracking data, right? So obviously with the AI, we can figure out how many people actually clicked on this, where did they end up going? So now we've got kind of a communication loop as far as the individuals using the actual page. So we're going to be we're in the midst right now of doing some further engagement with all the nonprofits. That's going to be coming from your local SNAP representative, because we want to start filling these pages up and getting as many people involved on this page as possible, because volunteers are really what makes, in a lot of cases, the world go around, and particularly now. There's a lot of really great stories that, we have an opportunity to share with the community. We have a page on local organizations. So this could be everything from new businesses, hospital foundations, historical societies, BIAs, clubs, associations, right? This is going to be the page and the opportunity for them to kind of showcase their story in terms of what's happening within the community. Again, everything starts with a video message where I hover over, And the video message is really whatever you would like it to be, as far as profiling some of the things that you're doing within the neighborhood, and then all of the connectivity as far as buttons from there. So this opens up a bit more. It could focus on events or ticketing, any promotions that you're having that you want to highlight. You may have a call to registration, contests. The opportunity strategically is wherever you want to take it. You're going to be able to control the narrative as far as once I, as a reader, go over, hover over top of this, I see the video, and then where do I want to take them? And these can change, on a go forward basis. Finally, the tracking data. Everything is trackable. We have one for what we kind of call what's cooking, right? So if you're a restaurant, or you could be a bar. Video, one of the things that we had talked about, we had some early discussions with somebody the other day who said, would it be possible to do a, just kind of a short recipe? That so we have no problem in terms of sharing some of our recipes with the neighborhood. Is that any of that stuff is great, right? It could be an overview as far as the restaurant, maybe some of the things that are changing, or promotions or events. Think of it in terms of really strategically, where do you want this messaging going? Local markets, grocery stores, bakeries, caterers, specialty food stores, kind of like the Frank example that I used earlier. So this is really the page where we're going to be profiling all of these various different organizations and businesses within the neighborhood. So people have an idea. If you go back to where we were with the volunteers, right? Volunteer stories, local organization stories, what's cooking stories, and we will be building these themes out as we go forward. But it's all about connectivity. It's all about bonding the neighborhood together, still within the essence of what we're all about, all these wonderful positive stories, and how we can fundamentally help you at the end of the day, as I mentioned off the top, sell more, get more people to register, get more people to donate, whatever your specific objective and story happens to be. Oh, that's interesting. We're going to have a page on ticketed events. Every month, we're going to be focusing on kind of 6, upcoming ticketed events, and they don't all have to be, the biggest events that are going to be happening within town. This is going to, on a go forward basis, allow us, where people hover over top of this, they'll go directly to the ticketing page where they can get tickets now. The benefit of that, obviously, apart from building out a database, is that we're going to be, as downloads increase, we're going to be reaching a larger audience for you. Many of you have probably worked with us in the past. We have a lot of free promotion and horsepower that we put behind a ticketed event, not only in terms of the publication, but also as far as organically in terms of social media. But really, the biggest difference here is the difference between just a single ticket transaction to a transaction that reaches a larger audience. Because fundamentally, at the end of the day, if everybody could be in a sold out position, that would be a great place to be. And that is certainly our kind of objective, to help you get there and grow the audience and deliver a larger audience as far as ticketing. There's a whole back end which is referred to as box office, where you can manage all your tickets at a single point. The scan at the entry point, that's all part of the ticketing, as I mentioned earlier, the database. And one of the areas that we're going from a technical point of view is, again, in-home. So within the next year or so, you'll be able to, either through Google Nest or Apple Siri, find out what events are going on and buy tickets directly through the Neighbur platform at that time. So ticketing will be promoted as well. We have this one slide here, it's referred to as a day in the life, right? Just to give you a bit of an idea as far as the engagement is in terms of the app, right? So it's, again, really a lifestyle app to help people physically connect and have enriched experiences within the neighborhood. So we kind of broken it out morning, midday, and evening. Not to suggest that every day you're going to be through those time periods, but even if it's once or twice a day, that's fundamentally where we want it to be. So in the morning, maybe enjoying some AR experiences in the magazine itself, scroll through moments, because again, the moments are always going to be building on a daily basis as people are submitting content. Look, checking out the local events, whether it's for the evening or upcoming or for the weekend, buying tickets if tickets are there and you want to attend the event. We have this fridge magnet idea that has been well received in a lot of the communities, where it's fundamentally neighbor branded, and the messaging can change on a regular basis. So I can just go up to the fridge, hover over top to find out what's that. Could be an update from the mayor, different things that are going to be happening. It could be somebody talking about an event. It could be a reminder if it's garbage week or library programs. The beauty with augmented reality is that we can change content whenever we want. There is no restriction. It's not like a printed vehicle where once the paper's out, you got to wait, a month. So literally, not to suggest that they would, but a video could change every 5 minutes that are pushing out as far as content. So going back to this magnet idea, there's always fresh content for somebody to engage with. That's an example of kind of the power of AR. Midday scan street experience after an afternoon stroll. We're doing a big program in Newmarket right now with the Historical Society. And again, once the branding becomes familiar with that little icon called view, you know that there's going to be an experience there waiting for you. So, and there's going to be more of those as we evolve forward. Could be visiting a restaurant and a virtual menu. We're doing some work with a few restaurants right now as far as virtual menus are concerned. Coaster activation could be in a bar where they're promoting a particular beer, where you activate off a coaster and you got a virtual experience there. Or it could be just taking your own pictures as far as you want to upload into moments. So again, we encourage everybody to be in a position where they're, just kind of taking pictures of things in the neighborhood and stuff that they're doing and uploading them into moments. In the evening, you could be heading to the event with the neighbor ticket, or without the neighbor ticket, you're going to be taking lots of pictures. We're going to remind people when they submit the events to share links with others, to download the app, to get to the photo portion of the app, to upload pictures, because the more content we have coming through at the end of the day, the more powerful and rich this whole experience is going to be for everybody within the neighborhood. Could be an AR fireworks, selfie moments, backstage, contests, all kinds of different opportunities are going to be building out of this platform. So this is a bit of an overview just in terms of kind of a day in the life. One of the other things we just want to bring to your attention is that obviously we got AI and machine learning within the app. And there's two areas from this point of view. One is the user, right? So the algorithm in terms of their usage and the types of events and the types of interaction that they're going to be having around the community is going to be in a position where we can get a lot smarter as far as pushing out what we brand as, for me, relevant events that are coming up. Could be partner experiences that we can give them a nudge on, because in the case of Frank's, we know that they've got a higher propensity to go to specialty grocery stores or food stores. So just smarter in its totality as it relates to the interaction with Neighbor over a period of time. The other thing is that we're going to have the database within all of that kind of smart information, that data that's going to be coming back. So when we work with our partners, we're going to be a lot smarter in terms of providing data insights as it relates for future initiatives going forward. So that becomes, a significant play. We are still in the process of building that out, although the For Me is probably going to be about 3 months away in terms of putting that together, but that's certainly where we're going. At a minimum right now, all of the all of the data insights as far as interactivity. So if you go back to the theme pages that we talked about, we'll be able to tell you who was engaged, how many people clicked through, where they clicked through the button. So all of that tracking data will be part of the initial launch. So just a quick overview, some of the stuff, I've already kind of spoken about. Obviously, the events and the moments, all of that content upload are free to the public. There is no cost or things like that. We talked about certainly within partner experiences and the other components within the overall platform, if you were, being able to provide a much deeper level of experience as it relates to marketing, transactions, engagement overall. So the community interactions, we touched upon these events and moments. And really, again, we want to be in a position where it's really active. So there's a vibrancy within the neighborhood, and you're going to be part of that. So the more people we have kind of interacted, the more people we share with, the more people we let know that Neighbur is really the bond and the glue that is going to hold us together, and to celebrate all the positive things that happen in my particular neighborhood is where we want to be. Partner experiences, we've got what we refer to as these kind of core app experiences, and we can sit down and have separate discussions on those. We have comprehensive event programs. So if you have a significant event or an event that's coming up, doesn't have to be, size is really irrelevant. As far as putting those types of programs together, we can certainly help you out with that. The event ticketing, free or paid, even if it's a free event, it still makes sense to set something up, because A, it gives you how many people are going to be attending, and B, you got a database as well, right? To be smarter on a go-forward basis. The print-based augmented reality we touched upon, the engagement insights, and also as we build out apps, downloads, and we expand upon the total audience that we're going to be reaching, is that there's going to be in-app kind of ad opportunities, if you will, and sponsorship is as well. So the biggest difference in terms of where we are right now, if you think about kind of Snapped, we got a publication. It's a little more traditional. You may be part of that publication. There are ads that are part of that. It becomes, perhaps a little more, passive. We're less in the business now of selling ads. And I'm not talking about a revenue or program opportunities. We're in the business of promoting engagement. That's what we do at the end of the day. And we got a number of different programs. Ads may be part of that within the context of the magazine, but there's other parts of the platform that can help be able to support that total engagement as it relates to what your specific objectives are at the end of the day. So the platform is quite expanded in terms of presumably what you've been used to as it relates to Snap, the publication. So we talked about the Neighbur app. We talked about augmented reality, the data insights that are going to be triggered and they are part of these. We do obviously have the print and social. The print has evolved. It is becoming more of a gateway into the app, still a totally immersive, interactive experience, not only from an event point of view, but also whether it be the theme pages that we talked about, or kind of the advertising partners in terms of where they can go with that. We showed you the example with Tim Hortons. So less passive and much more interactive. Ticketing, content engagement, which is going to be critical on a go-forward basis. We got the capability of being able to help you with whether it be video content or things like virtual tours at the local level. Podcasts, I think everybody knows kind of where podcasts have kind of come from. I mean, there are a significant number of podcasts out there, and for good reason. It's an opportunity to build audience, again, cultivate a deeper relationship with the audience, and reach new listeners, which are fundamentally new audience to whatever your brand or organization happens to be. And this is going to be part of our our platform going forward as well. So we can help you with some local podcasts, design. We've got local design. So if you require some design work, regardless of what it is, it doesn't have to be significant. It's you're looking for a solution for some design. We could certainly help you out there. And then partnerships. So a big part of what we do, because we know a lot of people in any given community, is we actually pull together partnerships. So it may start with somebody as far as an idea is concerned and start moving forward with a program, but we know that there's 2 or 3 other partners that we've had some experience with that are a like-minded brand, and we know it kind of in the back of our mind, it would represent a great opportunity perhaps to bring 2 or 3 different people together. So it may be your event, but we would certainly talk to you about that. But that's a huge part of what we end up doing, just because we're, kind of so anchored in the community through your Snapped and soon to be Neighbur representatives that you deal with. So we just wanted to give you a bit of an idea in terms of the extended platform. We've had a couple of, recent meetings where, this is really kind of been an unknown, and certainly where we're going, and the response that we've been getting is, I had no idea that you did any of this. And I think that, a big portion of the objective today is to let you in on kind of the brand evolution, to introduce you to what Neighbur is all about, and then provide you with an overview as it relates in terms of how we've evolved the platform, just from fundamentally a print publication with a beta app to the screen that you're looking at now. So that's what we wanted to share with you today. I mentioned 35 minutes. I guess I'm probably about 6-7 minutes over that, but I want to thank everybody for attending. There will be kind of next steps on this. Is we will be sending out through your local representative a copy of this as well, and then depending on where kind of the interest lies as far as moving forward. Again, if you go back to those theme pages, for those who are interested in, if you fall within kind of the volunteer, the nonprofit, or the charity category, we are looking for as many potential partners right now who would be interested in those pages, or the organization page, or the restaurants, if there's some restaurants on, or those types of categories, because we want to start kind of planning all of that out. And we'll take you through kind of what the next steps are. And it's really quite easy for those pages. It's an image, what the line is going to be, a short video in terms of what your story is going to be as it relates to your particular organization. And then you just let us know. We'll provide you with a series of button links, which way you want to link this thing, that particular video through, where you want to send people. And then you forward the content through to your representative. That's it. And then you're done, and we're ready to go and execute on your behalf for those theme pages. And so we're looking for as much content as possible for these inaugural issues. Obviously, there hasn't been as many events taking place over the last year and a half as a result of the pandemic. I think we would all agree that we're hoping that I wouldn't call them the floodgates, but we're certainly moving in the right direction to start getting neighborhoods back together as vaccines start moving forward. So we're really excited about this, and would love for all of you to find a way to get you involved on a go-forward basis and really start kind of bringing the glue back to neighborhoods and focusing back on local.
Excellent. And maybe worthy of note that a lot of the content examples you're giving, Glenn, can be multi-purpose. So it might be an AR video triggered in the magazine, but that video doesn't just reside there, it can be shared through our social media
Absolutely.
channels as well. So lots of opportunity on multiple channels, be it the traditional aspects of reaching an audience to the app itself, to the, the website. So we're trying to really use this tool as a ubiquitous platform that we can all take part in, and focus on the important thing, which is your individual strategy. So let us do the heavy lifting of creating the platform that we can open all the doors and let everybody jump in and use, right? So we can have your time, energy, and money focusing on the campaign itself and reaching more people. That's where we can help out. So,
by the way, just one other point that I failed to mention. When we launch Neighbur, there's going to be a significant launch behind this. But as far as the print is concerned on the magazine, it will be launched with an outside wrap, which is fundamentally going to take the readers through what Neighbur is all about. Now, it's not exactly everything that we've taken you through here, but there are certainly elements of that. Talking about the app, talking about the publication, getting them familiar with augmented reality, so they're going to be consuming the publication within that, right? So we set the behavior, we sit down, we go through it, they start engaging. They've got the app, now they're into all the events and what the power of the app can do. So it's not one of those things where when we launch, the magazine's going to be coming out. There's a real cohesive, significant launch, social media, PR, the whole bit. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
Well, that's great, Glenn. And I appreciate all the time you took on explaining that. I know it's a lot it can be exhausting sometimes going through all that, but we appreciate it. So let's leave everybody. Thanks so much for your time. We will at some point get this presentation into the hands of your local Snapped / Neighbur person. And next steps, start brainstorming ways you can take part. Start thinking of those pictures, those volunteers, the stories that Glenn just walked through, and connect with your local rep and start a little conversation going about how you can make sure you're into that inaugural edition, which is why you were invited to these sessions. So without further ado, Glenn, thanks again for
thank you, everyone.
And thanks everybody for showing up. Appreciate it.
Have a great day, everyone.
Have an awesome day.